Hey everybody, Gunston Undercover. Today is December 22nd, 2018. It's Saturday and it's a windy, overcast day here in New Jersey. Temperatures in the low to mid 40s. Not my kind of weather, but it's better than rain and snow, that's for sure. Alright, we've got a Blue Zero Hero story here. This one has to do with a Long Branch cop by the name of Omar Akel. That's right, Omar Akel. He's a canine officer. And this is reported on NJ.com. It was provided to me by one of my subscribers, Nick Nitro, I believe is the person. Here it is. Let's read the story. Let me put the specs on. Excuse me, and we'll read the story. See what happened with this turd. A publicly praised, oh my god, so I already read some of the stories, so I kind of know what's going on. So, you know, I do stories about them giving each other awards so that when they get in trouble, they pull out these awards to show what great upstanding citizens they are. This will apply to this story. And he'll be treated as a victim too. A publicly praised police officer had his drunken driving case thrown out after the judge prosecutor agreed he slammed to a pole in October because he was tired, not intoxicated. Omar Akel, Long Branch K9 officer, smashed into an utility pole on October 13th at about 5 a.m. after crossing the center line while heading northbound on Branchport Avenue, according to a crash report of the incident. He was off duty. When a fellow officer arrived, he said he could detect the odor of alcoholic beverage emanating from Akel's breath. What were they doing? Making out? Giving a little kiss to each other? Doing a little man kiss? And took the 3-year cop back to police headquarters due to conditions in the area. A half hour later, Akel failed a field sobriety test at the police station, a police report said. The 26-year-old Long Branch resident was arrested and charged with DWI and reckless driving. And so let me just point out a few things for some of you who are not here in New Jersey. You are not required to take a field sobriety test. Check. That's when they have you go like this and you sing the ABCs and do the hokey pokey on one foot. You're not required to do that. You are required, however, to take a breathalyzer test. And they will do that at some point. And that comes right up now. Akel was given a breathalyzer test just before 7 a.m., almost 2 hours after the crash. He blew half the legal limit, which is .08. 2 hours! 2 hours after they dragged this clown in. You think they're giving him a little courtesy? The first thing they should have done was breathalyzer him with him. And here's a picture of this turd right there with his little doggy. One wonders how many people's rights he violated with that dog circumventing search warrants on the side of the road. Let me continue. At a hearing on November 20, municipal prosecutor Sean Kane told a judge that the state would not be able to prove his case based on the breathalyzer reading according to an audio recording of the proceeding. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. You waited 2 hours and you got a .04 on the reading. The max event here, Kane explained, is the gentleman drove carelessly and he had worked a long shift. Now see, they throw these little key things in. Well, he worked a long shift. And he worked a long shift and did consume some alcohol, but he was tired and there was certainly no reckless, no DWI. Well, I would think there's a reckless. He hit something, caused damage. And based on, oh, here we go. Here's where the awards thing. And based on the gentleman's history and his service, he continued, there's no recommendation loss of license. Of course not. Municipal Judge Susan Clark agreed. Sounds like we're getting the right result. Yeah. The right result. I can understand, sir, based upon the situation being tired, smell of alcohol also contributed to the officer's belief, Clark said. The good news is that you're okay and that you were not driving under influence. Now, the good news is that he didn't kill anybody. Like his fellow former officer, Mr. Pakushki. Akel pleaded guilty to careless driving. He was given the minimum penalties of $156 fine and court costs. So he's careless driving. That's 2 points. So there's some other things going on here. Let me just fast forward. Prosecutors can pursue an extrapolation which can pinpoint a driver's BAC level at the time he or she was operating a motor vehicle. The state uses it all the time, only they don't use it on police. Ramsey said it should not have been a problem. Well, they're not going to do it because he's a cop, and they're going to give him every opportunity to get by, to wiggle out of it. Because he didn't hurt anybody, he didn't cause any damage to anybody's property other than his own. Ramsey said prosecutors can also seek a conviction of DWI based on field testing, admissions made by the driver, observations from the arresting officer, among other aspects of the investigation. After publication, Kane, the municipal prosecutor who was also a state assemblyman, called NJ Advanced Media and said, I treated this defendant just like I would treat any other defendant. Any other defendant that's a cop. He disputed that the DWI charge was dismissed with a plea deal, though court records signed by the judge indicate it was. Kane also said that the officer who issued the summons told me would not be able to testify that Akel was under the influence based on observation. Yeah, of course not, because it's just an observation. It's not a chemical test of a physical test of his sobriety. Okay, so here we go. Let me continue. Akel told police he drank 4 beers at Johnny Mac House of Spirits on Main Street in Asbury Park from 11:45 p.m. to 1:50 a.m. According to police report, he said there was approximately 45 to 60 minutes between each drink. Well, I don't, this is about a 2-hour period of drinking, so if you take 45 and divide that into it, I don't know how he came up with those numbers. I mean, 4 beers, that's a half hour for each beer. But what gets me is Johnny Max is in Asbury Park. He gets pulled over and gets stopped in Long Branch, but that's at 5 a.m. in the morning. So what the hell was he doing between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m.? I mean, that's a 3-hour period. So what was he doing in the car? Sleeping? Passed out of the thing? He got a hooker? He was down at the gay bar? I mean, what was going on? So there's some questions here about that little clown. So anyway, let me continue. Long Branch Police Corporal Stanley Eskridge wrote and reported that Akel performed the walk and turn test well and also passed the eye track test, but during the stand on one leg doing the hokey pokey, Akel did not point his foot straight and miscounted 6 times, the sergeant reported. Akel was also seen swaying and had bloodshot eyes, a separate report said. Now, if this was you or I, they'd be hanging us from a tree, okay? But they're giving this cop every possible leeway because this is his house now that's arresting him. The case had to be tried. Of course it is, because, public's going to be watching this one. The public confidence is shattered when you have a police officer involved and the BAC test is delayed. The optics are bad. Yeah, it's bad. 2 hours. 2 hours bad. I'm sure he was ripped between the hours of 2 and 5. He was probably drunk. And where was he at? Driving around, sleeping in the car? I think he was sleeping in a car. According to Ramsey, a person's body typically burns off alcohol at 0.015 per hour. New Jersey Advanced Media filed an Open Public Request Act request 2 days after the crash. As usual, they denied it. It took them 2 months to get it back. Following the crash, Akel was placed on administrative assignment. Long Branch Police Chief Jason Roebuck said he was taken off administrative assignment once the charges were dismissed. Roebuck declined to comment on the case. Here we go. Here's about the awards. They always got to bring up the award. What a great person he was. When it's you and I, they bring up all the dirt on us. In June, Akel was commended by the Long Branch Police Department for arresting a wanted burglar after his K9 tracked the suspect's scent. They ought to be rewarding the dog, not him. And besides, that's his job, isn't it? Why did he get awarded for a job they're paid to do? Akel, who joined the department in 2015, was also credited in February 2016 for saving the life of a 9-month-old girl who was choking at her Lippincott Avenue home. Again, that's your job. I mean, it's great you saved the girl's life, but that's your job. Why are you getting an award? So anyway, so they go on here to say this is not the first time a Long Branch officer was busted for drunk driving. You're absolutely right. I did a story on this back in the summer. It was on Gunnison Undercover. I went on site and did the story. There was a former officer by the name of Jake Pascucci, and he was sentenced. He got a real nice deal for this one. He got 364 days in county jail for killing a woman who was crossing the street while he was intoxicated behind the wheel. He hit this woman so hard, she flew out of her shoes and smashed the front of his car in, and he got 364 days in jail. This clown should have gone to jail for 5 years, if you ask me, but they gave him a pass, and he's going to get sued. His life is over. And what was really more disgusting about that particular cop, not that the story's about this one, but his lawyer wanted to file a motion to get the sentence reduced. The guy killed somebody because he was drunk driving, going like a maniac down Ocean Avenue, and he wanted to get a reduced rate. No, I don't think so. You should have got an increased rate. So, once again, we have a cop out there drinking and driving. There's some question as to where he was between the hours of 2 and 5 a.m. in the morning after he got done drinking. And, all right, yeah, he got off on a technicality. He certainly did. They gave him every leadway possible to get off on that technicality. And they dropped the reckless driving down to careless driving. And he gets to keep his job. But, the issue here, the question here about this clown is how many people has he pulled over for drunk driving and arrested them, okay? Once again, the pot calling the kettle black, right? It's you and I, they'd be stringing us up from the highest tree by our you-know-whats. So he's still back on the job. I'll look up and I'll post his salary there so you see how much this clown's making. Another blue zero hero turd. Well, this one got off. He still got his job. What's the message saying here? The message is that you're not being held to a higher standard. You're being held to a special standard. This is Gunnison Undercover. Let me know what you think about this blue zero hero half a turd. He got arrested for drunk driving and reckless driving, and they all got thrown out, and all he got was a careless driving and a $156 fine, and he got his job back. Maybe they'll give him an award for this too. What do you think? All right, like, share, subscribe. We were up to 202 subscribers. You're down to 199. I don't know what happened. We lost 3 subscribers. I must have pissed somebody off. Oh, that's too bad. I've been known to do that on occasions. So if you are watching the channel, please subscribe. And hopefully, I know I'm sounding like a broken record on this. Hopefully, Gunnison Undercover will be back up on the 26th. Not holding my breath, but it might be a Festivus miracle, and it may come up. And I will be looking forward to it if it does. In fact, if it does come back up on the 26th, maybe I'll live stream. What do you think? Maybe we'll do that. All right, till next time, guys, ladies, folks, gentlemen, countrymen, whatever. Be well, be safe, and always keep an eye on the cops. Always keep an eye on them. And if you know any stories of bad cops here in Monmouth County or surrounding area that maybe I missed, send it over to me. Put the link in the comment section or email to me at GunnisonUndercover@gmail.com.